Hello, Steeler Nation. Welcome to Stryker's Inside Slants. Sorry I was a little late. I was out with the family watching the Comet. My eyes are kind of messed up from corn being dropped into a silo right next to us. But other than that, I'm ready to talk some Pittsburgh Steelers today. Obviously, the big news, we were talking about it all last game. Is Russell going to start? If he starts, if he does badly, it's all Tomlin's fault. If he does good, I guess it's all Russ being awesome. What did you guys think about the start? I personally, you guys know what my opinion was last week. I was happy either way. Just like Michael Keaton said, we had two starting quarterbacks. Both are capable men, capable of winning in this NFL. Now, we've seen George Pickens be a little bit antsy from time to time, maybe not getting the balls, not making those big plays. Got a great game 2 games ago. Had a great game last week. Starting to stack games together. He knows he's going to be part of this system. He knows now he's getting these jump balls with Russell Wilson. And that's what I like to see, him dropping them, as Chris Collinsworth properly stated. Fields has that great line drive blast he can deliver down the field 30, 40 yards. But it's on a line. Russell Wilson puts air under that ball. So the only person that can get to that ball should be our receiver, because it's coming on a too high of an angle to be defended by the defender. So they have to go through our receiver to make the play. Love that kind of ball. And it's one we haven't seen since Ben, because that's a fade ball that Ben could throw as well, and one that he was very good at. Guys, this is your show. Obviously, we're going to you first. Cooley was waiting. You're late. I had to start drinking. I got to catch up. Viola, bring me a drink. Pirate water out in the RV. Make sure you click that refrigerator door shut. Thank you, sweetie. I'll be joining you soon here, Robert. Miles Stryker, that was my first game. You won, Miles. Awesome, awesome. I didn't get a DM from you, man. I would have liked to meet up with you and seen how you're doing. I was busy this weekend. Had a great time in Pittsburgh, walking the city. Went to a pop-up bar. It's called Mixtape. On Saturday night, they had like a Tim Burton themed bar. So we went to see the DJ play and dress up, had some fun there. And of course, tailgating. Nothing beats tailgating. Hopefully, you at least hit the terrible tailgate for the Steelers. Miles, love Pittsburgh. I'm surprised by how clean it was. Yeah, it's really kind of a commuter town. Like there's certain situations where you're surprised on the weekend that it's a city because you barely see anybody driving and you barely see anyone walking. I mean, give them props. Now they're starting to have more events on the weekends, bringing people in. Of course, Steeler games always bring people downtown too, just to sightsee and all that. But previous week we had Oktoberfest, and that was there for quite a few weeks when they shut down Clementi Bridge. Had all the fun stuff going on there in Market Square. There's like a space thing going on last week and some Halloween stuff starting up as well. But it's turning into a fun town. Robert, Russell gets the ball downfield to his big wide receiver. Exactly. Mr. Unlimited is back. Fields to Pickens. I like that. Fields to Pickens season. Great. Welcome to the show. John Burns. Oh, there's a blast from the past. Why can't we vote people off of the forums? Because it's fun, John. It's fun to have these discussions. Miles, I wasn't happy with Russ in the beginning, but then the rust came off and he was getting that ball to Pickens. Exactly. Well, hell, his first drive they got points out of it. Oh, I don't need the cup, but thank you so much to Viola for bringing me our pirate water. What kind of pirate water we got here, matey? We got some sex on the beach. It's this 10% giant can alcohol that I get on the Delaware state line for $5 for a 4-pack. So buy one of these, I'll be where Cooley was 5 minutes ago. Yep. So, speaking of Cooley, Pickens was happy enough. He actually threw a nice block on a catch by Muth. You're damn right about that. Wanted to give props to Van Jefferson, who I'm pretty hard on as far as for being a receiver, but he did a good job blocking last game. One of Najee's runs that he sprang up the left side, he walled off 2 people on his block. It was a beautiful play by Van Jefferson. Congratulations also for getting that touchdown, having your dad being able to watch that from the other side of the field, being the wide receivers coach of the New York Jets. They got some great wide receivers over there. The guy, and their running backs essentially are wide receiver as well. But much better game out of Fields as well, or out of Van Jefferson as well. And I don't know if it's because of the quarterback. And like I was saying, even with Russ on his first 3 and out, he delivered that third down right into the hands of Austin Jefferson. Austin Jefferson should have had that. There's certain things you also see on plays where Russell Wilson is throwing to specific spots on defenders to try to get them open. You saw that Warren play for third down, which was a conversion. He threw that ball short, but he threw that ball low left on Warren, so he had to stop and come back to it. Both of the defenders were on the other side and ran past them and into each other so he could pick it up and run for it. So that was an interesting read if you watch that and the little nuances of what Russell can do to help throw his receivers open. And that's what great quarterbacks do. They throw to spots as opposed to throwing to people. And they throw their receivers open as opposed to throwing to a spot where a receiver has to jump up in the air and get killed. Kenny Pickett. That's what we saw last year. Even with Fields, you see our receivers getting killed, getting hit a little harder when they receive the ball. This pass game, that's probably the biggest difference I see as a wide receiver, as a guy that played wide receiver. Your quarterback was not hanging you out to dry. You either get that ball in there quickly or you throw it to a space where your guy is not going to get killed. And that's what Russell brings to us that Fields doesn't currently bring to us, but Fields can win. Fields is athletic. Fields can win with his legs. It's a win-win, and I'm happy for it. And if something happens to Russell, we've got Fields. Miles, Renegade is something I don't think I will ever experience like that again. You could see the players getting hyped up, and when Renegade hits, something's going to happen. It always seems to be that way. Dana! Best show. Wilson and Pickens put on a show. Defense, best in the league. And I want to give some props to not just to Beanie Bishop. Great game out of Beanie Bishop. We know that. 2 interceptions and undrafted rookie free agent who's might not be our starting slot guy once Sutton comes back here in a couple weeks. Had a monster game. But there's one other guy that no one talked about. No one brought up his name because few people other than us know who this guy is. I'm talking about Pierre, who came into play when Jackson went down. He played the whole second half. Crickets. I don't remember big plays happening down the field. He came in, did a fantastic job coming off the bench because we know who Pierre is. He's a good spot player. He plays well in our system. He can tackle. He can play the ball in the air. So I want to give Pierre his props on having a lockdown game after DJ got hurt, had to come off the field in the first half with that shoulder injury. Fortunately, Tomlin said today it is not serious. That's good to hear. The only serious injury was Adams, who is now on injured reserve. I don't know if he's designated to return. I don't know exactly what the injury is yet, but he is out moving forward. Also, what's today? Oh, it's just the report came out today. That's right. It's not the listing. I'm just going off of my memory from what I can remember. I remember Pattison and KZ is supposed to be back this week. Pattison is supposed to be working his way back this week. And it looks like they're not sure yet about Herbig and forget the other guys. I was trying to go off the top of my head. They'll come to me. So we've got some people working their way back. Only one major injury is what it comes down to. And we're expecting to have KZ. KZ almost made it back last game. So nice to have KZ back there with why am I drawing blanks on players' names? I mean, I know I've been like drunk for the game. I was really drunk for this last game. Not going to lie. One of the few games I really didn't get to understand what was going on during the game because I drank a little bit too much this past game. But Elliott, why can I not remember Elliott? Elliott is doing a great job too. He's banging in the holes, getting some tackles for losses. But it's nice to have those guys on a rotation, just like we have with the rotation with our inside linebackers right now with Wilson, with Landon Roberts, with Queen. More it's like Roberts and Wilson swapping out for a run defense and pass defense. They like what Peyton Wilson is doing, coming in there on those pass plays now. I'm looking at the depth chart right now. They're listing Peyton Wilson as the starter. So I don't know if Peyton Wilson's starting to get some more reps over top of Landon Roberts as well. But this is the first time I've seen him listed as the starter at inside linebacker on our depth chart. Little something here just to see. But also, Russell Wilson is listed as our starter still. So we've got that going for us too. Miles, I had no idea you were there. I'm sorry, Miles. Yeah, I thought I told you to DM me. Would have loved to meet up. We'll have to do it another time, my friend. Cooley, Beanie Mother Frickin' Bishop. Exactly. Beanie Baby Bishop is my name for him. I know. Chris Carter started calling making some Beanie Baby references, but I'm all for Beanie Baby Bishop. BB, come on, do it up, BB. And that's the first real playmaking we have seen since out of that position since Hilton left. Hilton was our playmaker there. Sutton was supposed to come down and play that spot, but he ended up playing outside that season for us when Hilton left because we didn't lose both. We should have kept both. Should have kept Sutton on the outside, Hilton in the middle. That's what I wanted. But we kept Sutton, who was still a great Swiss Army knife. We just lost the playmaking of Hilton, and he is a game changer. Love me some Hilton, but Beanie Bishop last night was the game changer. Miles, or 2 nights ago. Jeez, it's Tuesday. Najee with another monster game. His post-game press conference was hilarious. Definitely getting fined. Right? Yeah, John likes that one as well. What's up, John? Pirate's favorite letter, R. No, 'tis the C that she loves. Yar. I always love that joke. Great alphabet joke. Miles, it was a great team win. F the NFL officiating for once again screwing over Minka. Yeah, of course, came down. Tomlin mentioned it in the press conference that the NFL stated it was a legal play. So now that puts it on these referees a little bit more because there's something that Danny Smith is teaching these guys that are helping them be 2 standard deviations better than the rest of the league. And when there's 2 standard deviations above for the rest of the league being able to block balls, you're either cheating or you're doing something a way that nobody else is doing it. And Danny Smith has been here a long time and knows how to do a lot of things. Now, there was one interesting special teams call that I loved last game, and they did it 6-7 times. I don't even know if it was mentioned once on the broadcast. I think there's only one time where it didn't happen when they had the opportunity to do it. I'm talking, of course, about kickoffs. We were kicking off into the landing zone all game long last week. I think one went into the end zone. At the end of the game, we kicked it into the end zone. That's right. Why bother having a play when you've already won the game? Smart play. But we were kicking it into the landing zone because Danny Smith properly saw they have trouble returning balls. Same thing with their first couple punts. They were muffing them. High kicks, high rotational kicks, they were having trouble catching them. That is what a special teams coach does. When you start 3-phasing a team, there's no way the other team can win. And our special teams right now, especially on kick coverage and punt coverage, we're becoming elite. We're creating situations where we're downing the ball inside the 10, inside the 5, making it tough for them to catch, keeping them on the sidelines, pinned on punt returns, and on kick returns, dropping it into the landing zone. So we're tackling them ahead of the 30-yard line. I think their average start was right around the 23. So that to me was as impactful, maybe not as flashy as blocking an extra point, maybe not as noticeable as blocking a field goal. But these little things are just as important in a football game where you're having a team have to go another 5 to 10 yards when our defense is made to beat you over 10 plays. Yeah, it hurts sometimes. We played Indy. Oh, they had 3 drives of 15 plays. Yeah, but they needed that to beat us. That's the way this defense is set. You can't beat us on 1 or 2 plays. If you want to score a touchdown, you got to get to double digit for plays. Because that's the way this defense is built. Keep you in front of us. Keep making the tackles. You're eventually going to make a mistake, whether it's getting a sack, whether it's making a turnover, tackle for a loss, getting you behind the sticks, forcing you to throw out of your comfort zone when we're coming at you. That's the way this defense is built. If they're beating us on 1st and 2nd down, that's not the way our defense is built. We're a pressure defense. And we can do it with 4 instead of 5. So, fun stuff to see. Robert, Bishop's first pick flipped Big Mo to the Steelers, right? There's trade rumors that we are targeting Cooper Kupp now. I heard those trade rumors last week. As a possession receiver, absolute cream of the crop. He would be a perfect fit in our offense. Adams would have been a perfect fit in our offense as well. I just watched his route running last weekend, or this past game, just to see how he kind of attacks his route running. And when you've got a great quarterback throwing to you, you're going to be open the way he runs patterns. Cooper Kupp is the exact same type of dude. Van Jefferson isn't. Austin doesn't really have the experience yet. I'll tell you, in college, Wilson looked like he was the guy that could do that type of stuff. But I'm still waiting to see Wilson get healthy. That's right. Wilson was the other one that was questionable, that we're not sure if he's working his way back. Same thing as Zach Frazier. Probably not going to be back for this upcoming game as well. Wilson's questionable. Zach Frazier looks like he's leaning toward being out this week, as well as Herbig. It looks like he's leaning toward being out. Jackson said he should come back. KZ should come back. Adams was placed on IR. Oh, Matakevich may be coming off of IR this week. That was one of the other things I saw. Anybody else coming off of IR? I know he mentioned Matakevich. And I think that was everybody that was mentioned for this current week. Cordell Patterson also looking to work his way back. And it would be nice to get Cordell back because, man, he was a breath of fresh air coming in on certain plays too. But what do you guys think about Cooper Kupp? I like Cooper Kupp. If we get him, I'd be happy, Miles. Miles, it was a pretty classy move that Aaron Rodgers is going to sign Beanie's intercepted ball. Yeah, he's a veteran. He's already won a Super Bowl against us. He doesn't care. He lost a game that sucks, but he made this rookie's career get on the map. Biggest stage, prime time. People calling his name twice, had a big tackle for a loss, making good tackles all night. That was Beanie Bishop's game, and he played a phenomenal game. Couldn't be happier for Beanie. Punting was elite as well. Yeah, the punting was fantastic. Waitman was putting them high, dropping them inside. I think he only had 1 going in the end zone out of his 4, 3 pinned inside the 20. Guy was on. Like, I wish we still had a Cam, but Waitman's better than what we've had with Presley Harvin III. I'll tell you that. Our depth is so deep. And Miles, that's the reason why we are still in contention. Something that they mentioned, something that our current resident Steeler fan, Tomlin haters, fail to see year after year after year after year after year. Tomlin finds ways to win when other teams fall apart. They talked about our offensive line. we have two guys that have played every game on the offensive line. Those are our bookend tackles, Moore and Jones. And Jones was getting split time with Fontenot before Fontenot got hurt. So was he our starter? We don't know. But the other three interior, especially our freaking our center last game, McCollum, fantastic job. Though I don't know why they're calling him number 4. He's number 3. They kept calling him the fourth center. We lost Nate Herbig in the preseason, who was supposed to be our starter, or 1A, 1B to Zach Frazier being a rookie. He's not our 4th. He's our 3rd. Correct yourself, man. I don't know who the 4th would have been, unless we lost somebody to IR that was a center. Let me go down here to the IR list quickly. James Daniels, nope. He's guard. Nope, there's no other person on Dylan Cook. Maybe he was referencing Dylan Cook, who we lost in the preseason, who technically would have been. No, he's a tackle. Dylan Cook's a tackle, you liar. So, yeah, we're on our 3rd. But still, for what he was doing, he wasn't putting any snaps on the ground. He was doing a fantastic job of clearing and getting to his guy. Is he perfect? No. But hell, this is what his first, is it his first year, McCollum? Let's see. Let's see what year he's at. McCollum's 2nd year. He's in his 2nd year from Texas A&M, but his first start. So props to him. He did a spot job and a good job for his first start. Just finally getting back Kameto, or sorry, Kameto. the other Polynesian left tackle, the left guard that we have, Isaac Sayamalu, back on the left side, who was a starter, missed the first 4 games. And then, of course, rotating now at right guard with McCormick jumping in, since Daniels is on IR currently, with Max Sharping is going to be backing him up. I don't even know who that guy is, or if we're going to have a call-up. But just look at this rotation just on offensive line. I mean, we're not talking about the rotation we've had when we were down both freaking Highsmith and Herbig, and we're bringing like Moon and other guys back up to play that other bookend across from Watt. We've had some bang-ups across this line. We had some bang-ups at corner now. We've had some guys rotating in and out. Safety, having guys rotating in and out. It only hurts your team when you keep getting hurt in the same position. And we've been getting mangled on offensive line, yet we're still winning. And that's all Tomlin. Robert, Benton and Joey Porter Jr. and Elliott played well, and the special teams got 2 blocks. League admitted Fitzpatrick's block was legal. Exactly. Now, there's one other thing that I noticed in the pregame when they're introducing everybody, they gave everybody a number. This out of this many players. They gave Joey Porter Jr. a number in the 30s. I don't know how the PFF works, but eyeballing Joey Porter Jr. for like what we've seen for elite corners on our team, having Ike Taylor, elite shutdown guy, having Rod Woodson. I think, yeah, go back to Blunt and stuff before you see the other elite guys. We've had a whole lot of guys. Joey Porter Jr. is an elite defender. He goes against their best player and locks them down every game. He makes tackles in the backfield now, starting to use his size and strength to his advantage, taking down ball carriers, becoming a better tackler than he was at Penn State, being the knock on his character, now making those plays. There is no metric you keep that guy out of top 10. 0. You can't tell me 34 other guys playing corner in the NFL are better than Joey Porter Jr., that you'd rather have than Joey Porter Jr. at 3 years in the league now, 3rd year in the league, playing like a monster and playing with intensity. Love me some Joey Porter Jr. Michael Hall, we are live and I am late. Hey, you're never late, my friend. Welcome here. Michael, 2 trophy footballs for Beanie Bishop off a legend, Aaron Rodgers. George Pickens continues to do what he does best. Plus, that circus catch. One-hander by Muth. Yeah, fantastic catch later to convert a 3rd down on that drive. Congrats on Van Jefferson for getting his first touchdown as a Steeler. Racket, that's a great take. Way to come in strong, Michael. Hall of Fame. Expect nothing less. Don Lily Pond. Do you think we should shoot for right tackle before trade deadline? Broderick has fallen short this season. No. Nope, not at all. And I'll tell you why, Dawn. We are going to get Troy Fontenot back this season. And Jones is coming off of injury. He's been playing with a bad elbow all season. It's not like he's fallen off. It's not like he's gotten worse. I watched him last game. He was mauling people last game. Last game was one of his best games. Because we only let up one sack all game, and that came up the guard slot, not on the center, which because I thought that was going to come up. It came up Sayamalu's side. I mean, sure, we got some pressure. Russell Wilson did a good job managing the pocket, managing his movement within the pocket, or coming ahead of the pocket to complete plays. But right now, I don't think Jones is the weak link of this team, especially since he started every game. Obviously not playing up to his standards, which I'll agree with you with there, Dawn, but he's improving. And he's going to keep getting better, and we're going to get Fontenot back this season. So to me, I don't want to spend draft capital on a position that's going to get stronger as the season progresses. But if we're talking about going out and getting an X receiver, I am all for making that move. Mike Williams, is he available? I'd consider it. Cooper Kupp would be my number one right now. Brandon Ayuk, good thing we didn't get him. He just lost the knee. He's done for the year. I feel badly for the guy. Really do. Really wanted him. He would have been great in our offense. But maybe not playing or practicing all freaking summer makes it so he wasn't really up to speed in the game yet. Michael Hall just shut down half. No, not related to me. In the second half, and Adams all game was shut down. All in great game by everybody who showed up and balled out. Yeah, still too. Let me look this up quickly. They never gave the number of the guy that blocked the kick. It was number 94, Dean Lowry, which I'm giving Dean Lowry his props. Not once was his name mentioned on the broadcast. They kept showing his block 3 or 4 times. They never mentioned his number. Cameraman even got to him on the bench. Never mentioned him. Dean Lowry, I am propping you up. Fantastic job getting up, getting that big maul up in the air and blocking that field goal for us. Big play out of Dean Lowry. Taking 3 off the board and shutting them out in that second half. All great stuff. But yeah, what a ball out game, Michael Hall. You're ready. Gina! Wilson showed up as a class act. Veteran who pulled it all together. I want to make one other point, and this is why you watch my show. I don't think like other people. There's certain associations that I make when I'm watching games. I've loved all the pregame press conferences, all the pregame stuff. Fields graciously allowing Russell the starting job without any issue, being a team guy. Russell returned the favor in the post-game interview. If you guys watch the post-game interview, we're able to see it. I saw it on replay because I was at the game. Russell Wilson went out of his way to mention Justin Fields in the post-game press conference and the tremendous job he has done to get them to 4-2 and the tremendous team player he continues to be. This is turning into a very special locker room, guys. Everybody, especially these new one-year guys, are sold into Tomlinomics. They are buying it hook, line, and sinker. Work hard together, fight for each other, your teammates, your brothers, you win together. And we're finding ways to win, even with a banged up line, even with our running backs getting banged up, can't move the football on the ground. Now we start exploding. Getting banged up on defense, certain big spots, people going down. We're still shutting people down and doing well. We're making adjustments. This is turning into a special year to be a Steeler fan. We're finding ways to win games. We should have won that Dallas game. Really wish we found one more play to ball out and win that Dallas game and be at 5-1 instead of 4-2, but still, we're 5-2 now. 7 games. Damn, I don't even know our damn record. There we go. 5-2. Yeah, we're 5-2. Oh my gosh, it was an epic weekend. I'm celebrating my birthday, guys. I'm turning 50 this year, so it's a year-long celebration. I started 2 weeks early. Halloween, you'll see me get older. Michael Hall, loved the 31 unanswered, plus the nail in the coffin. Najee celebrates as a player, and that was great. That's a great point there too, Hall. Him jumping into the stands, and then immediately the fans go from we are worshiping you for that touchdown to we are celebrating together because we're all fans of this team. And then you saw the couple of the other guys start getting up, and as opposed to like high five and nod, they turn around to be part of the fans too. It's like that was just a great moment for Steeler Nation to celebrate Najee for to give him his props too. He laid down before they got a touchdown, his first touchdown of the season, to make sure we win that game. This time we're so far up, you get that touchdown, Naj. You don't need to drop down at the 1. Walk it in. And that was great to see. And we as fans, we love seeing that crap. That's what we live for. We want the players to have as much fun watching them succeed as we have watching them succeed. Great juxtaposition too from the start of that game. We got the field goal, good drive, first drive, 3 and outs. The boo birds started coming. After those 3 and outs, like we're booing Kenny Pickett. And then he starts throwing touchdowns. So that at the end of the game, we are celebrating Russell Wilson. I'm still looking for a negative thing about Russell Wilson today. We had a lot of negative Nancy's last week. We had Tim Burrow throwing Tomlin under the bus for making a tough decision. We had tweets coming out during the game, the face that Tomlin makes when he might have made the wrong decision at a starting quarterback when Russell Wilson missed the wide open player with the worm burner. These quick reactions are not what the Pittsburgh Steelers are. Pittsburgh Steelers are tradition. Pittsburgh Steelers are built in decades, not year to year. That's how we do better than the rest of this league. We don't knee jerk. We don't have to make the big changes right away. Run the course. Slight adjustments to get the ship back on course. And that is what Tomlin is best at. Miles, Joey Porter Jr. locked up 2 top 10 NFL receivers. Dude is having a year. Absolutely. And he's not getting any props for it on PFF. I have no idea what their metric is on PFF, but it sure as hell isn't not like holding top 10 wide receivers to 0 catches, 1 catch, 2 catch for an entire game. Keeping a guy that averages 100 yards down in the 20s. Dude is sick house. And I don't need PFF to tell, because PFF gave Garrett a championship last year for Defensive Player of the Year. They invented metrics to make that guy seem like he could compete or be better than Watt, who is always better than him on any field, any day of the week, any time of the year. No one is better than TJ Watt in a defensive uniform. And honestly, I'm happy to hear MVP talk about that guy too. John, Moon on special teams, downing the ball inside the 10. All special teams did well. Yeah, that's fun. When we start getting 3-phase play, and I was telling us in the preseason, I was excited about special teams this year. We rectified the punter position with Cam, have an elite punter now. We all know Boz is an elite kicker, and his only miss this season, all year, was a 63-yarder. A 25% shot was his only miss of the year. Dude is kicking sick house this year. First game, 3 over 50. The guy has a leg, and he's consistent AF. And now our coverage teams are really becoming a strength. And now, like, the only thing we are missing in this whole pattern, return teams. I really like that quick return that Austin did not fair catch inside the 20, and he was able to get another 8 yards. So we were outside, like, he was down around close to the 10, and he got up past the 20-yard line. That was an excellent, like, very small situational punt return where he could have fair caught, where normally people do fair caught, but there was something that he saw or he felt that, like, he's used to running up to footballs and people running behind him because he fools them and the ball goes in the end zone. It looked kind of like that, but he ran up, he caught the ball, and he got another 10 yards. That was a really good punt return. I want to see him get one this year. He has the ability to. I want to see Patterson get a kick return this year. As it gets colder out, some more of these kicks are going to come down in the end zone, especially in Pittsburgh, especially in Cincinnati, especially in Baltimore, especially in Cleveland, where the outdoor games are a bit colder. And that's where all of our games are at the end of the season. John Burns, Stryker. I'd like to see or do a comparison between Daniels and what McCormick is doing. I think McCormick is handling his rookie year great and performing maybe as well or better than Daniels. Right now, we get Frazier back. We will be doing well. Just hope Broderick Jones can get it together. That's a good point. That's another interesting aspect of the draft that does not get enough recognition. And that is drafting McCormick later in the draft. Yeah, sure, we had all the sexy guys earlier. Fontenot, Frazier. Guys are going to be potential starters, both on the offensive line. Rowan Wilson next, then Peyton Wilson. 2 Wilsons, then Mason McCormick. So I don't think Logan Lee, I don't think he made the team. Watts is somewhere. I think he's on practice squad. But that was the draft. Mason McCormick being the 5th pick that we had in the 4th round ends up being a contributor. And that is important to say, John. Great take. Thank you for letting Steeler Nation know the obvious that you see. Miles, Mason is so good. He's like had 0 pressure since he's started. Which Mason? We got like 30 of them. Well, Mason probably Mason McCollum. Yeah, Mason McCormick. We have like Masons and Williams and Romans, and I get confused. But yes, Mason McCollum is doing fantastic as well. Miles, PFF has Joey Porter. Yeah, 94 out. What the heck? 94. There's no eyeball test that puts him, in my opinion, anywhere under a top 10 cornerback. I have no idea what PFF is doing, how they roll bones and figure out who's better than whom. But for an eye test, Joey Porter Jr. is a freaking stud. 94. Yeah, I remember it was an insane number when it popped up on the board. It's like, who does that? You're telling me right now, like, even not as Steeler fans, name 93 corners better than Joey Porter Jr. I'm waiting, Collinsworth. This is your company. Start rattling them off, because I know you'll only be able to get 5 or 6 deep before you start running out of names better than Joey Porter Jr. Your metric is off, and it sucks. Michael Hall. Did Jets figure out TJ in terms of locking him down from Aaron Rodgers? In other words, Highsmith was good on Sunday night. Well, they were shipping. The thing now for TJ is they're trying to chip and then hit him with somebody else every play. The only times TJ wasn't chipped, he was in Aaron Rodgers' face. That one he blocked down, he's from me to my computer when he knocked that ball down. That was a close play. That was a play where Aaron Rodgers usually gets killed and drops a football. He turned around and threw the ball as quickly as he could. TJ was in his grill. You cannot stop TJ Watt all game, even if you double team him. But that was one of the few instances where he was single teamed. And anytime he was single teamed by the tight end, he was in the backfield. He was making plays in the backfield and plays off of that in the running game. And that's where he's always going to excel as well. But this is what they're going to do. They got to double chip TJ Watt until the players on the other side, like the Herbigs and the Highsmiths, start getting to the point where you cannot just block Herbig or Highsmith with one guy. And then what do? Send Queen up the middle. Send Wilson up the middle. Send Roberts up the middle. Do a quick delay, A-gapper. That's a killer because those guys are only one-on-one on the defensive lineman at that point. So you got a free rusher up an A-gap. That's what good old Williams used to do best for us. Miss that guy. Miles, Queen has been playing a lot better as well. He's been everywhere. His last 2 games ago was his best. He played another great game last game. He's back to where I'm expecting him to be because he was phenomenal preseason. He's making plays out there in training camp. Now he's starting to make the plays on the field too, and we need him. We need him to be the guy. He's got a rookie there next to him. Landon Roberts is also a great player, but he's not the guy. Great player, great tackler, not the guy. We brought in Queen to be the guy, and he's starting to be the guy. Broderick isn't a right tackle. That is the MO for Pittsburgh Steelers. We go and get 2 top 10 caliber left tackles in the last 2 drafts, and we got them both playing right tackle. Why? Because our 4th rounder is still a better left tackle than either of them. That's the crazy thing right now. It's not us playing them out of position as much as it's how good Moore is doing. We drafted 2 top 10 caliber guys, way bigger than him. And Broderick should be playing left tackle. Like when that happens, Broderick will be left, Fontenot will be right. That is the writing on the wall for this upcoming season with Jones being a free agent. And that may be the Steelers being like, we cannot maintain him and still have the talent with Jones and Frazier to get them all in the field at the same time. It's weird. Steelers have an MO playing people out of their positions. Sayamalu won a Super Bowl playing right guard. We never got moved Dotson from left guard back to right guard ever again, even though we went out and got another free agent. He should have immediately been our right guard, and he would have been tops in the league like he is. I don't understand it. We should have moved Green to guard. He'd still be on this team. If we moved Green to guard, he'd still be on this team. That's how it goes sometimes. Rank, do you think Calvin Austin and VJ are enough with our tight ends, or should we pursue a wide receiver? I'm all for pursuing a wide receiver. I've been saying this time in, time out. I know you're on the Twitter side. Always for getting a wide receiver. We're talking Cooper Kupp now. He's the best option. I'm fine with Mike Williams. We need a possession guy. Van Jefferson is a possession guy. He's just not getting open. He's older in his career. Looks like he does not have the separation that he used to have, though a better quarterback that's more accurate in with the touch passes that Russell Wilson is can throw those guys open a little more. That's why that going to those rub routes and the crosses now that we're doing, we couldn't really run those plays with Fields as much. But they're really the way that we're stacking and the way that we're running those rub routes. At least we've created situations now in the passing game that can help Van Jefferson and Austin get open, as opposed to expecting their personal athleticism to get them open, which has not been the case so far. Also, big props to Russell Wilson in the way he delivers a play action. He is selling his play action phenomenally, even more so better than Fields. Fields are more worried about his legs, so they're keying on his legs. Russell Wilson has a drop in the basket and a rip, and that makes everybody freeze. Even our running backs are freezing a little bit because they're not expecting to get ripped back out of them at times. Najee had it ripped back out of him the one time. He's like, and you saw he never felt that before. Fields doesn't rip it back. It's because Wilson is still looking downfield, saw something, ripped it out, delivered that football. Boom. Like, this is going to be fun moving forward as Russell still progresses within this offense. But Guys, this is what I've been saying also since the beginning of the year. Since Fields already got us to 4-2. Russ does not have to be that guy like he was in Denver. All the pressure on that guy's shoulders. He doesn't have to be that guy. He's got weapons and rank, like you're saying, too. I like that they're starting to distribute that ball now to Washington. He got four catches last game. Muth, of course, is going to get the primary targets. We know we got Kana coming in there as well. Those three options to me are better than any other wide receiver not named George Pickens. Said it last show. I am happy in 2 tight end heavy alignments with George Pickens as the other blocker and us running pass sets off of it because those are mismatches. We're getting guys open doing that. So, Coley. Would like to see Fields at slash style plays, especially the red zone and short yards. I was expecting him to come in more too. I really was. I was calling that the game before. Dana, Steelers Giants score and predictions. I hate making predictions because I was dead wrong when I thought we were going to kill Indy. I thought it was going to be a blowout because of the way we match up. This looks the same way on paper, but I'm done during that. But I do think the Steelers are going to win at home. We do play well on primetime. We'll just have to wait and see. Wilder Ways. Hey, welcome to the show, Wilder. Good call, NFL HQ. NFL 345 Park Avenue, New York, 5th floor. Ordered Tomlin to make quarterback change Field and Wilson for Hard Knocks. Refs through the game. Steelers. That's an interesting person. There's where we're getting the Tomlin datters. I was trying to figure out where you guys were going to go with the conspiracy theories on this one. That's a good one. Having the NFL determine who starts. Personally, Wilson is the more seasoned quarterback. He was expected to be starter all year, and he was voted team captain by the players, not given the position by the coach that Tim Burrow falsely thought earlier as well. Miles, Kenny should learn something from Justin. Right. To be graceful, to realize you have more you can learn. And that's what Fields is doing. Team player. Love me some Fields. Robert, can Devontae Adams be traded to the Giants? Only if he wants to lose 3 weeks in a row. Yes. To the same team. Miles, I hope we re-sign Najee. I do too, and I am still floored that we did not give him the 5th-year option. I don't understand why not. PFF is garbage. PFF needs to be thrown out of sports. Dana, Giants are averaging 14 points a game. How will they score on the Steelers? They need to hire back. Great take, Dana. Thank you for making me laugh. Love that take. Miles, Watts was lost for the year due to injury. Logan made the team. Thank you. That's why. Yeah, we probably have him on IR then. Michael Hall. Any Giants weaknesses can be exploited on another primetime game, and it is a potential trap game. It is. And Jones is starting. Just so everyone knows, Jones is starting. PFF is ran by Kuiper. Let's just say that. Kuiper and Collinsworth. PFF is in bed with the Browns. They do like a happy ending. Well, that other Miles ended up winning a Defensive Player of the Year, Miles. There you go. Isn't Ryan Watts? Yes. Thank you for correcting it, guys. I appreciate it. Possibility. Do you think it's a possibility DK Metcalf comes available, we trade? I would love DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is that game-changing possession receiver. He would work perfectly opposite of George Pickens. Same thing with Cooper. Same thing with Kupp. Cooper Kupp as well. I'd be fine. Those are two like pie in the sky. They're even better than Brandon Ayuk, in my opinion. Though I would have loved Keenan Allen would have been my target. Going into the season, I think Keenan Allen would have fit our offense perfectly. He would have size at the X side. That would be like having Larry Fitzgerald on the X side with George Pickens on the Y side, at Z side. Would have been awesome. John Burns, time for TJ to find another spot, get his moves down. Steelers need to move him. Too easy for them to take out our best player. No, he's special. Guy's going to make lots of plays for us this season, John. He's probably going to win another DPOY. Don, it is great that Darnell is just part of the game plan, has more than an extra lineman. He's such a big target. He is. And that's where some of the highlights that we saw on draft day, when you guys did the draft day show with me as well. we saw that athleticism out of him. It was something I wasn't expecting out of a guy that big who's used to hurdling defenders, because the only way those tiny guys can bring him down is by trying to chop his legs down. That's it. So he hurdles. Does a good job. Michael Hall. I think we put up 40 apiece a game and then better on the Monday Night Football against the Giants. 42-17. Russ goes wild early and Fields finishes the game. Najee and Warren go off. Moots gets work done, etc., etc., etc. Love that take, Hall of Fame. Hayden Fox. That's a what? Oh, gosh. How you doing? We need to do more play action at the beginning of games. Not a bad call. This is a play action offense. Don't get us wrong. It's built for it, especially now how well Najee is doing now. Warren is also starting to get back and 100% healthy now and starting to see those strong legs out of Warren as opposed to the spinny, kind of not sure kind of legs out of Warren that we saw earlier in the season. And you get Cardell Patterson back. That guy just runs like a monster. He runs straight. He looks like Eddie George running straight up like the tallest man in the field through those holes and still gets down the field on those plays. Like, we have a great stable of running backs this year. I love those guys. Dana, if the Eagles get Kenny Pickett's glasses, well, he will send Hurts to the bench. Will he send Hurts to the bench? I don't know. I think Kenny Pickett is going to be a good backup in this league. I don't know if he's a starter. The only thing that he knows how to do well is win. And that's just like Rudolph. Mason Rudolph was a winner. They got in the games. I didn't feel like we were at a disadvantage. I thought we could win. And both of those guys were winners. Time to see if they can win with different franchises. Had their biggest win with, I know Rudolph had a big win with Tennessee. Still not giving him the job. I don't understand that crap. Robert, when Russ went deep a few times, the running game really got into gear. Exactly. And that's the danger that we have with Russ is Russ can deliver those balls with more accuracy, though Fields has that ripper. Like, he can take the top off a stadium 50, 60 yards down the field. Russell Wilson's going to put it in the basket 40 to 50 yards down, 30 to 40 yards down the field. Right on a dime. That's the difference. John, Stryker, FYI, Montrevis Adams just put on IR with an ankle injury. Steelers just added Brendan Fehoko, great, to the practice squad. Just FYI, new breaking news. Thank you, John. And we know Fehoko, he was on the team last year. We brought him in training camp, and he was a good sign. Actually got into games for us last year. Excellent depth for us to bring somebody back. Another name that we knew, just like we did with Pierre, who ended up getting a lot of playing time in the second half, who I gave much props to at the top of the show as well. But thank you so much, John, for letting me know it's an ankle injury. Wasn't sure what the injury was. And getting Brendan Fehoko back is a welcome addition for the Steelers. Guys, mash those like buttons. Make sure you're sharing, following me on social media at SN Stryker. Because I know we're hitting the hour mark, but I still got to get to your questions. Iceman, 6-2 going into the bye. Giants are junk. Let's go. I'm hoping so, Iceman. I'm hoping you're right. Michael Hall, nothing spells disaster for another team versus Tomlin and Monday Night Football. I know. He knows how to win on Monday nights. Bob, I'm in wait-and-see mode. He was facing a secondary that was already severely hobbled. You're damn right about that. But at least he was able to make the plays. Do it a couple, but honestly, too, I was saying it last week, too, Bob. This is the only window that we had where we could bring Russell Wilson into football games. Because the window is Jets defense with a banged-up secondary, Giants, who are a dog crap team, lower in the league, and then you got Washington, who's a great offense, but their defense is not as good. So those three teams, two in front of the bye, one after the bye, before we start hitting our division rivals, that is the only window we had left to get Russell Wilson ready for December football. And we're looking for a playoff win this year, guys. And if that's the way if we wanted it to happen, if we wanted Russell Wilson to be a starting quarterback in our league, this was the only progression that we had. It fell at the perfect time of our schedule. And now we get to see what we have. Miles, during the game for the blocked field goal, I was screaming, "We're going to block that punt." And then I started a block that punt chant, and it worked. But it was a field goal. No, great job, Miles. That's awesome. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you had such a great time and you got to see a big win. John, never seen a dude named Dana look so tough, right? Oh, I know plenty of good, strong Danas. I played football with a Dana, and he was our fullback, and he was a bad MFer. And there's a reason why a guy by the name of Dick Buttkiss is in the Hall of Fame, because you either learn to kick asses or you get your ass kicked. But Dana's a strong name. Dana Carvey, one of my favorite comedians. Hayden Fox, is Cam an upgrade over Beanie still? Yes. Cam gives you a lot of versatility, Hayden. Cam plays multiple positions, but he was really good in that slot role also when there were instances when Hilton would get hurt and then Sutton would start in the slot. Sutton is a better cover corner than Beanie. I mean, Beanie got 2 turnovers. Don't get me wrong. One of the interceptions was handed to him by their receiver. Like, you don't see a receiver usually muff up a ball forward. And I looked at it and I didn't think it was touched. It was just a miss and a muff. He might have tapped the back half of that football just enough. And if he did, that's all on him. Doesn't matter what happens after that point. But if he did tap that back half of the football, I expected it to come lower than what the receiver was expecting, but the ball came higher than what the receiver was expecting because the hands were here and it hit him in the shoulder. So I don't know how hitting the back half of the football would cause the trajectory to go up instead of down. It was just a bad play by the receiver. Still giving his props for being able to complete that catch and nearly house the football. But you guys forget, Sutton was good at picking balls off. That was one of the years where he had more interceptions than we ever had. And he was around 4 or 5 on the season when he was outside corner. But Sutton plays slot corner, great slot corner, solid to good outside corner, and a fantastic extra safety dime option. He's a Swiss Army knife, and he does it all. That's something that we forget about. Though, Beanie is he's the undrafted rookie free agent. That was the same thing that Hilton was when he came to this team. Undrafted rookie free agent, started his first game he ever played in the NFL and never let it up. So there is still potential for Beanie to be better. But if you're asking me, knowing the body of work, knowing what I have in Cam Sutton, I can't wait for Cam Sutton to get on this field. Because that gives us another weapon. And Beanie's another weapon now. He was the big weapon last week. So, win-win, Hayden. We'll have to see who becomes a starter. Miles, so happy Deshaun once again for this 3rd year in a row that he had a season-ending injury. F the guy. Worst trade and contract in sports. Right? So Deshaun Watson's already out again? Is that what you're trying to say? I didn't even know he got injured this week. I haven't been able to follow the rest of the league. I've been traveling. Couldn't happen to a better franchise, though. Couldn't happen to a better franchise. You want an albatross contract, 5 years guaranteed, all 5? Only the Browns. Only the Browns. Michael Hall, have every game in Monday Night Football game easy 17-0. Exactly. Miles Garrett saying Watson is a model citizen is laughable. Right. Sorry. Yeah, we know. I know what you're saying. Miles is drinking also. Yeah. Cheers, Steeler Nation. So you guys, here we go. Nearly halfway through my pirate water, and I'm feeling it. Great show as always, boss. Take care and salute. Hashtag Road to 7. Hashtag Here We Go Steelers. Hashtag Renego. Hashtag Kuiper still sucks. Now, if Martin Sheen and Chocula had a illegitimate child. Boom. I love that one, Michael Hall of Fame. See you next week. If I'm not late to class, peace out, my friend. Great to see you again, and great for coming hard. As always, Michael Hall of Fame. Corey Frank, Stryker, hopefully we're still keeping Fields engaged to stay ready. Do you think Russ is going to be ready for AFC North football? Ravens, Bengals, Brown. AFC North is different. It is. It is. It's a different style of ball. Now, I will state, Browns are not anywhere near where we thought they were going to be this season. Everybody had them picked above us. Cincinnati is not anywhere near we had them thought this season. Well, everybody had them picked over us. Where are the Steelers going to finish this season, guys? Last, third, last. I didn't see anybody saying 1 or 2. Nobody. None of those idiot prognosticators had Steelers 1 or 2. I'll tell you one thing. Any season I'm betting with Mike Tomlin as the coach, I'm betting for the Steelers to be in the playoffs. Why? Because the Steelers have never been eliminated from playoff contention until the last week of the season under Mike Tomlin's entire tenure. That's a big deal. That's what coaches are paid to do, get you to the playoffs. And then once you get to the playoffs, win in the playoffs. Obviously, you want to keep progressing. But if nothing else, Corey Frank, if he's not as ready for this slot of tough games coming up, I'll tell you what Seattle used to have to deal with. They used to have to deal with San Francisco twice a year. They had to deal with the Cardinals. Cardinals were decent back in those years. We had a lot of Steeler coaches over on the Cardinals back then. Rams a couple times. They weren't as good at those years, but they did win a Super Bowl while he was part of the Seattle Seahawks. So is he ready? It's don't get me wrong. It's a more physical style of play than the West Coast style of play. You got to put up a lot of points on the West Coast, though Seattle was the most physical of those teams. They had the established running game with beast mode. They had the tough smash mouth defense with Legion of Boom. I mean, that was a special team. That was a fun team to watch them go through the playoffs, make it to 2 straight Super Bowls, nearly win 2. So he knows what to do. He knows it's not going to blindside him. First Ravens game is going to be probably the biggest change. We're the big brother to the Ohio teams. They already kind of roll over on their back and play dead once we start putting up points and getting turnovers and putting them behind the chains down the distance because they're used to seeing that same old story, same old song and dance. Oh, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers again. What are we going to do? You're gung-ho before the game starts. By the time you're about 3 drives into the game, oh, gosh. Here we go again. They're our little brothers. Ravens can go toe-to-toe. I'm excited to see our defense go up against Lamar Jackson. We know how to stop Lamar Jackson. We do it better than any team in this league, and we were doing it before we were as good as we are now. And now if we're putting up 30 points a game, look out for any team, even Kansas City, being able to beat this defense. I will take our team scoring 30 points over any other team in this league. I don't see another 36 points losing to a Jacksonville scoring 42 in the playoffs this year. Not going to happen. Not with this defense. So maybe not fully ready to expect for AFC North football, but I think it's going to hone him enough to the point to be ready for playoff football once we get through that 6-game gauntlet. Jay, so if Cooper Kupp rumors are true, it's a huge ad for us. What do you think? Yeah, I love it. I've been talking about it since the top of the show, Jay. You might have jumped on a little later. He's my number 1. Happy with Cooper Kupp, happy with Mike Williams now at this point. You want your guys that can get open quickly. Honestly, if we had Deontay Johnson on this team, we'd probably be undefeated. I don't know if Fields would have gotten off the field. That guy got open on every route. He worked really well in our system. It sucks that they don't have anybody who can get him the ball consistently in Carolina. But I think he's regretting his decision now to get pushed out of town. Great show, Stryker. Thank you, Cooley. I know we're down to the end. Also, a huge trap game Monday night. You always like to say trap game, unless it doesn't happen. Indy, hurt. Indy, it just happens. You're in the NFL. You end up playing a team that executes and wants it more. That happens. Indy wanted it. And they did well, and they outplayed us in all 3 phases in that game. They did what they needed to do to win that game. Doesn't mean they're the better team. Just meant on this day, we were not the better team. Also doesn't matter who you play. It matters when you play them. Now we're getting the Giants, still with Jones as their starting quarterback. He's not an accurate guy. He's not a game changer. He's not a winner. He's not a come-from-behinder. We get up on this team, it can get ugly quick. Mike, The game was exciting to see the offense do well, but I'm not sold on it yet. Need to have some good games against some better teams before I'm jumping for joy. Hey, Jets were a preseason Super Bowl team. They were the sexy pick. They just picked up Adams that same week. Oh, here we go. We got Rodgers and Adams back in the saddle again. Oh, look what they're going to do against the Steelers this week. Adams with a couple catches in the first half, second half, goose egg. Crickets. Our defense is damn good. Check out what Atlanta's been doing this year after they played us. They went to Philly and won in Philly. Our defense is better than you think. We're stopping good offenses already. So keep watching. I want to see how we do against Washington. That's going to be a good meter stick because that offense is for real. Miles. Yeah, Watson has a ruptured Achilles. He's out for the season again. Yes! Time to go to the massage parlor because you're done playing football. Great show, Stryker. Thank you, Miles. Mike, glad to see the offense perform well in the later part of the game. Not completely sold on the offense yet. They had a lot of help in the defense and hurt Jets, also special teams. We three-phased them that game. Want to see how they do against quality team before I'm jumping for joy. Yeah, we saw it again. I get your question. Pat Gibb, you say, how do we feel about him now? Teamwork. Excellent answer to that rhetorical question, Pat Gibb. Welcome to the show. Keep coming with those great comments. Mike, let's chill on us scoring 30 points. It's 2 games over the two worst teams. Well, they're not the worst. We haven't played Carolina yet. Corey, we need to continue getting Darnell Washington touches. Defenders do not want to know part of this beast. His kids need to get 5 or more touches a game. I think he's getting the appropriate amount now. We targeted him 5 times. He got 4 catches. I think that's what he should be getting each game, turning him more into a red zone threat, being also to throw fade balls to Washington as opposed to just to George Pickens, using that height advantage on a shorter defender. All day long, he should be beating people. Absolutely all day long. Mike, Kupp or Williams, a better fit? Kupp by far is a better player. Don't get me wrong. He is an elite X receiver. One of the best to play it. Won the trifecta just a few years back when they won their Super Bowl for most receptions, yardage, and touchdowns receiving in the same season. That's something very, very few receivers outside of the name of Jerry Rice have ever done. Great receiver. And knows how to get open. That's a big thing. Like, that's why I loved Hines Ward. Hines Ward was not the fastest guy on the field ever. He didn't have a sexy 40. He was like a 4.6. And that might be pushing it. Jerry Rice was a 4.7 guy. Not burners. But nobody had stronger legs than those guys, and nobody was better in short area quickness to create separation than those guys. Those guys were always open. Antonio Brown did it with athleticism. He was faster than both of those guys. Smaller, too. Fit into smaller holes. Good stuff. Chow, Dad, ringing in at the end of the show. Good to hear you, Chow. What's up, man? Hey, Stryker. The team was different with Russ. You could see the buy-in. If Russ continues, Sonny be surprised to see packages with Justin during the gauntlet game. I would like to see Justin get packages. I really do. Especially when we start getting these short yardage situations. I don't want to see Russ have to push into the end zone like he's pushing a sled. I would rather see Fields on the field for those plays. Michael Hall, trying to make Rodgers like Thanos, give him back his receivers from Green Bay like Lazard and Adams. Who else is next? Okay, I hear you. Great call, Mike. Have a great one. Jumper Stryker, will Tomlin use Fields as a slash? I'm hoping for it. I was expecting it last game. I was expecting it on that goal line play after we got the touchdown or after we got the interception. That was the perfect spot to put in. On 4th and 1s, I want Fields on the play in those situations. I hope we start working him in those situations, to tell you the truth. Really do. Matt Stafford might be going to the Vikings. Really? Oh, did their other guy get injured? Because they had an old quarterback that was doing well over there too. Cool. Stafford. Nice. And I know we brought somebody else in today. I forget who it was. Guys, be sure, go on over to SteelerNation.com. Follow all of our great stuff at Steeler Nation. I need to check to see quickly here who's going to be at the terrible tailgate on Monday night. Clicking on it right now over on the website. It's Jeff Reed. Jeff Reed's going to be there this week. So if you guys want to come over, hang with Jeff Reed, please come on over. 3:30 p.m. It starts on Monday. Red Lot 5A. That is diagonally from the intersection from the closest corner of PNC Park to Acrisure Stadium. And our party is right on that close corner. It's the one with the DJ playing all the big tunes. We got the music. We got the food. We got all you can drink. We got the fun. We're going to be raffling off a signed Herbig jersey. Nick Herbig jersey, it looks like. Jeff Reed's going to be there signing autographs. He's fun to talk to, too. I saw him the last time. He was there last year with us, too. Suggested donation is $50. That's all you have to pay. You come into town from out of town, you always have a you always have a tailgate, and you don't have to buy a damn thing. Get there on the early side. Make sure you fill your body. Make sure you get your blood alcohol content up for rooting conditions, because terrible tailgate is going to make sure you do. So be there on Monday. I'm going to try to get down there too, so we can all have a good time this Monday. Red Lot 5A, 3:30 p.m. sharp until 7 p.m. at the terrible tailgate. Shake my hand, shake Jeffrey's hand. Let's have a great time and go Steelers. Obviously, it's your show. We're going off on your comments and questions. Ciao, ciao. Sorry for trying to type quickly at stoplights. Not going well. Dude, I am a savant when it comes to figuring out what you guys are writing for me. You guys know that. Nipple Mittens, that's the greatest name ever. Holy crap, Nipple Mittens Lambert. We need to suit Lynn Swan back up. The guy still looks half his age. I'm sure he has some in the tank. That's like what I still think about James Harrison still doing powerlifting. Holy crap. Bring him in for just like rotational conditions. I would have that guy still on my team. Sam Darnold is Viking. That's right. So Sam Darnold, did he get hurt? That's what I'm not sure. Sam Darnold injury. Okay, there's some expectation. MRI. Avoided a serious knee injury. That was a month ago, though. Injury updates. Yeah, I don't see anything with big. I don't know if he got injured recently. I know he had a chance of getting injured a month ago. But it just let me know that Stafford might be going there. Not sure what's going on. And Robert, time for Trump Cope over at Steeler Nation. You know that's where I'm going to be going next. I'll see you over there at Steeler Nation. Join the football forum. It is free. It is where I chat with everybody as well as Stryker. Great people. Some people out of their minds like Robert C., like Chow Dad. We have a good time over there. But a lot of Steeler information and fun is always in the football forum. I highly recommend you to join if you enjoy the forum life and you want to come over for some fun chats. And that's how I get some nice ideas too. So hope to see you over there as well. Oh, re-sign. Gotcha. Re-sign. Gotcha. Thank you. Brian Davis, Reed's sister worked for me back when he played. Marie was an amazing person and bartender. That's awesome. Hopefully she gave you some tickets to a game so you got to see one. But guys, that's all the time I have on my show. Thank you guys so much for making this as fun as it is for me to talk to you, as hopefully it is for you guys. Share it with people. Make sure you go over to our YouTube channel. Follow us at YouTube/Steeler Nation. We're easy to find. It gives you the alerts when I jump on. You should also be getting alerts on Facebook. Also should be getting alerts if you're following us on Steeler Nation on Facebook or Steeler Nation over on the Twitter, which we now have the @Steeler Nation handle finally. We are Steeler Nation.com on the gram and on Facebook. So those are the ways to always follow us, and you can always follow me across the platforms. Every once in a while, I will post something. So love you guys, and until next time, I will be rooting along with you as always.